In the previous video, where we covered 15 to 21 shlokas of chapter 5, Lord Krishna explains how knowledge and selfless action work jointly in the path of spirituality. In the 16th shloka, he talks how ignorance is destroyed by Vedic knowledge. Like how passing cloud reveals the sun, the supreme entity is revealed to us after knowledge acquisition. Further, he tells that a truly learned is one who has samadarshan. He sees with equal vision the Atma in a pandit, cow, elephant, or dog. The Lord also touches upon devotion. Those who are completely absorbed in God with absolute faith get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Chapter 5 has 29 shlokas, and we would cover the last 7 shlokas, that is 22 to 29 shlokas today. In these shlokas, Lord Krishna explains how detachment, self-control lead to liberation, and he also teaches us the right way to meditate. Ye hi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddhaha. Samsparshajaha ye bhogaha. Sparsha is touch. So, bhogaha is pleasure. The pleasure born out of the contact of senses with sense objects. Tehi dukkayonaha eva. So, dukkayonaha, they have the seeds of sorrow in them. They are definitely the cause of sorrow. Kaunteya adi antavantaha. O Kaunteya, Kuntiputra Arjuna, adi antavantaha. So, these pleasures, they have adi and anta. They have beginning and end, which means they are temporary. They come and go. Buddha teshu na ramate. The wise Buddha, teshu na ramate. They do not relish them. They do not indulge in them. Lord Krishna has repeatedly told us in several shlokas that the pleasure that the sense objects, the material objects bring are not real. They come and go and do not last. Even though they appear to bring pleasure to people who indulge in them, they are actually the source of sorrow. So these pleasures last for a very short period, and therefore the wise do not indulge in them. Samsparshajaha. So this means a contact of senses with the sense objects. So when this contact happens, a person's expectation for materialistic happiness increases. However, this temporary pleasure is only an illusion, and it eventually brings sorrow. So it should be understood that for liberation in the path of spirituality, sensual pleasures are detrimental. Therefore, the spiritually intelligent Buddha, they shun these materialistic pleasures because they are temporary, transitory in nature, and have the seeds of sorrow in them. Shaknoti haivaya sodum praksharira vimokshanat kama krododbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Yaha iha eva sharira vimokshanat prak. Prak means before. So, yaha here refers to a sadhak, that is a spiritual aspirant. Iha eva is in this birth itself. So, that spiritual aspirant who in this birth itself, sharira vimokshanat prak. So, prak is before. Before what? Sharira vimokshanat. Before casting off his sharira, his body, sharira vimokshanat. Before casting off his body, what does he need to do before casting off his body? Kama krodha udbhava vegam sodum shaknoti. Shaknoti is ability. That is, that sadhak who is able to kama krodha udbhavam vegam. So he is able to withstand sodum. So sodum is withstand. He is able to overcome. Overcome what? Kama krodha udbhavam vegam. He is able to withstand the urges, the impulse of lust and anger. Saha naraha yuktaha. So that person, that sadhak is a true yogi. Saha sukhi. He is happy. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna explains what a spiritual aspirant needs to do to achieve success and be happy through his practices. So that sadhak, that spiritual aspirant who is able to fight and withstand the impulse of kama krodha, lust and anger, even as he lives in this world before casting off his physical body, he is considered a yuktaha. Yuktaha is one who is in harmony with the Supreme. This person who is able to withstand the impulses of kama krodha even while he is alive is satisfied, contented and happy. So in this shloka it is reiterated that the mastery of one's mind and control over senses is a prerequisite for higher existence. योऽन्तः सुकोऽन्तरारामः ततान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति. Yaha eva antasukha. Antasukha, inner happiness. So one who is happy within himself. Yaha refers to sadhak. So that spiritual aspirant who is happy within himself, that is by being absorbed in the antaratma. Antara ramaha. Ramaha is delight. So that sadhak who delights in the atma. Tata yaha antarjyotihi. So likewise one who is illumined by the inner light, that is by the light of the atma. Brahma bhutaha. He is united with the Brahman. Saha yogi Brahma nirvanam adhigachati. So that saint, he attains Brahman, which is all peace. So apart from giving up kama krodha, the urges of passion and anger, lust and anger, what are the other characteristics to get moksha? One must be internally happy, anta sukha. And so once a person gives up kama, desire for sensual objects, krodha, anger, he is able to focus internally on the atma. So the next condition is antara ramaha. So one who delights in the atma tattva and gets spiritual bliss. Antarjyotihi, self-luminous. Such a Sankhya yogi resides in the Brahman and he attains Brahma Nirvanam, which is all peace. Labhante Brahma Nirvanaha Rishaya Kshina Kalmashaha Chinnadvaita Yatatmanaha Sarvabhuta Hiterataha. Kshina Kalmashaha. He whose sins are destroyed. So kalmashaha, sins. Kshina. So he whose sins are destroyed. Chinna dvaidaha. Whose doubts are dispelled. Chinna is destroyed. Dispelled by what? By knowledge. Sarvabhuta hite rataha. Sarvabhuta. Bhuta is all living beings. Sarvabhuta, all living beings. Hita is well-being. So this person is always devoted to the welfare of all living beings. Yatatmanaha. Yatatmanaha, he whose mind is firmly established in Atma. Rishayaha. Rishayaha, rishis. Brahma nirvanam labhante. Labhante, attain or get. So they attain, they reach Sachidananda Brahman, which is all peace. A rishi is one who has controlled his senses and mind and who is established in the Atma. So through constant sadhana, one can become a rishi. Such rishis, holy men who have a pure mind, are compassionate. They are devoted to the welfare of all beings. Chinna dvaidaha means, it also means persons who are not impacted by the dualities like happiness and sorrow, joy, pain, praise, ridicule. Yatatmanaha. Yatatmanaha, those who have conditioned their minds to focus on the Atma. So such rishis who have these qualities, they are Chinna dvaidaha, Yatatmanaha. These rishis are also compassionate. They are Sarvabhuta hiterataha. They are devoted to the welfare of all beings. So these saints attain liberation from the sansara, the cycle of birth and death, and they realize a Sachidananda Brahma, which is all peace. Kamakrodha viyuktanam yatinam yatachetasam abhito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Kamakrodha viyuktanam. Kamakrodha, we know it is lust and anger or passion and anger. Viyuktanam. So being free from lust and anger. Yatachetasam. Chetas is mind. So having controlled the mind. Viditatmanam, having directly experienced and realized the Supreme, that is Atma. Yatinam abhitaha Brahma nirvanam vartate. Yati here is sage, such yatis, such sannyasis, Brahma nirvanam vartate abhitaha. So such sages, they get absolute freedom. and liberation, vartate is exists. So Brahma Nirvanam vartate exists, Brahma Nirvanam exists for these sages, abhitaha, on all sides. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna tells us how for yatis or sannyasis who have renounced their family, career and everything, moksha or liberation is present wherever they go and in everything they do. So three characteristics such renounced sannyasis need to have to get liberated. They must be free from lust and anger. They must control their mind, and they must withdraw their they must not only withdraw their senses from the material world. They must also devote themselves to the Supreme Lord. Such yatis, such sannyasis perceive the Brahman and they realize moksha or liberation from all sides, meaning that they get liberation in every action they do. Wherever they go, whatever they do, liberation is achieved by them. Sparshan kritva bahirbahya chakshushchaivantare bruvoho pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantaracharinav yatendriyamano buddhihi निर्मोक्षपरायणः विगते चाभय क्रोधः यः सदा मुक्त एव सः. Bahyan sparshan bahihi eva kritva, shutting all thoughts of the external world. So bahya is external world. Sparshan bahihi eva kritva. Bahihi eva kritva means keeping it only outside, not allowing it to enter inside. So keeping all thoughts relating to materialistic objects, keeping all materialistic thoughts only outside. You do not allow them to enter inside. Chakshuhu bruvoho antare. Chakshuhu eyes. Bruvoho are the eyebrows. So antare, in between the eyebrows. So fixing the gaze on the space in between the eyebrows. Nasabhyantara charinau prana apanau samau kritvacha. So prana apanau. So prana is the outgoing breath and apana is the incoming breath. So prana apano samau kritva. So by regulating the prana and apana, that is nasabhyantara charino, the prana and apana which flows from the nostrils, regulating them. Yatendriya manoho buddhihi, bringing the indriya senses. So bringing the senses, manaha mind and buddhihi intellect under control. Moksha parayanaha yaha munihi saha sada muktaha eva. Moksha parayanaha yaha munihi. Munihi is the contemplative muni or the sage who is moksha parayanaha, who aspires for moksha or liberation. Saha sada muktaha eva. Such a muni is considered to be liberated. In the two shlokas, 27th and 28th, Lord Krishna describes the appropriate method for meditation to achieve moksha. Turning inwards, that is not thinking about external sense objects. The domain of the thoughts relating to sense objects is in the outside world. So while meditating, all thoughts relating to the external world must be shut off. What should be the posture? One should sit erect. And where should the concentration be? The gaze of the half-closed eyes should focus on the middle of the eyebrows. Regulate the prana and apana, that is the outgoing breath and the incoming breath, by equalizing them. So when we perfect this meditation technique, we are automatically free from kama, krodha, kama desire or lust, krodha anger, bhaya fear and moha delusion. So such a sage who is in meditation and who is determined to get moksha is ever free. This reflective and determined sage has already acquired all qualities to acquire moksha and hence is considered ever free. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam nyatva mam shanti mruchati. Mam yajna tapasam bhoktaram. So mam here Lord Krishna is telling that knowing me, that is Mam, Yajna Tapasam Bhoktaram, knowing me as the enjoyer of Yajna Tapasam, the enjoyer of all the sacrifices and austerities, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, knowing me as the supreme lord of all the worlds and the lord of demigods, Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Nyatva, knowing me as the most merciful, Suhrudam, most merciful, Sarva Bhutanam, a benefactor, knowing me as the most merciful benefactor of all living beings, Shantim Ruchati. So that person, that my disciple who knows me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices, knows me as the Lord of all the worlds, knows me as a merciful benefactor, that disciple attains peace. So in the previous verse, Lord Krishna describes how to meditate. In this shloka, Lord Krishna explains the importance of knowledge. Lord Krishna is the supreme Lord who accepts all sacrifices and bequeaths rewards to all beings based on their actions. He is the Lord of all the worlds and the Lord of all demigods and is an intimate friend in all beings. He is a benevolent well-wisher. So in this shloka, the Lord tells us that when a devoted karma yogi practices selfless action, that is nishkama karma, with accurate knowledge. What is accurate knowledge? He should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme Lord who is our friend, well-wisher, benefactor. This by itself, having this knowledge by itself is enough to give us moksha. This path of karma yoga, where a karma yogi performs his prescribed activities with accurate knowledge, is the easiest and most practical method to achieve moksha. Summarizing the shlokas covered in today's video, in the 22nd shloka, Lord Krishna tells that sense objects bring temporary pleasure, but they also have the seeds of sorrows in them. Describing the characteristics of a sage who gets liberated, the Lord tells us that such a sage can withstand the impulse of kama krodha, lust and anger, and this person delights within and he gets illumined while meditating. The Lord explains the method of meditation. That is, how do you do it? Shutting all the external thoughts, focusing the gaze in between the eyebrows, regulating the prana and apana, and being self-disciplined. By knowing that the Supreme Lord, that is Lord Krishna himself, is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, he is the Lord of the worlds, all the worlds and the demigods, and he is our intimate friend, we get peace. So we've completed all the 29 shlokas in chapter 5. In the next video, we would summarize what we covered in chapter 5. Thank you.